Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, well, this literally doesn't work. Man, that's 2 days down for the week, 3 more to go. And don't forget, guys, it's Mother's Day this weekend. Don't be in the doghouse. Don't forget your wife, significant other, or your mother for Mother's Day. So make sure you take care of business. Ah, man, I'm tired, and I'm so happy that I got the fish pond going again here because I just love coming out here, listening to the water, putting my feet in here, and of course, watching Joe Boo. But I've been sitting here thinking, and I hope you guys can hear me okay over the waterfall. The thing that drives me crazy about the Dallas Cowboys is they're always trying to convert people from one position to another. I mean, it's like they're transformers. Byron Jones, to me, there was nothing that said he's a safety. He looked like a cornerback, he smelled like a cornerback, he had the body, the leaping ability of a cornerback. But you tried to make him into a safety. So he flipped off from safety to corner to safety, and I believe it stunted his growth. Well, you look at Ryan Switzer. Ryan Switzer, who looked like a clone of Cole Beasley. He looks like a slot receiver slash kick returner. What did the Cowboys try and do? Let's make that guy a running back. It's this whole experiment with guys. Like these guys are transformers. And here it is. The thing that kills me the most is how the Cowboys don't value the one technique. Now, if you don't know what the one technique is, here's what, okay, let me make it simple. I was a zero technique in college, okay? I played nose guard, a position which really they don't even call it anymore. They call it nose tackle. But back in my day, you have the center. That's zero. Everything worked its way out. So if you were over top of the center, you were a nose guard. Now it's a nose tackle. That is a zero technique guy, okay? If you're in a three-man front. We don't have a three-man front, we have a four-man front. And technically, back in my day, we called it a 50 defense because you had three linemen and two defensive ends, and that was your five-man front. Well, now they don't call it that, okay? They changed up the terminology. Yes, I know I'm old. Short of leather helmets, I played back in the day. But with our defense, you have two tackles, and then you have your defensive ends, okay? And the difference between defensive ends and outside linebackers, well, there's really not a whole lot because really outside linebackers aren't really linebackers in the scheme of things, but that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about that another day. So the one technique guys are guys, tackles, that line up over the guards, okay? So we have our center. We have the A gap, which is between the center and the guard, okay? And so you have the guards. In our defense, the one technique are guys that line up over the guards. They may shade to the inside or shade to the outside. And what shading means is, here's the helmet, you're slightly inside or you're slightly outside. Generally speaking, a zero technique guy is responsible for both A gaps. And because of that, and I remember back when I played nose guard, it was hell because you never knew where you were going to get hit from. You were going to get hit by the center, or the center would go away, you get hit by this guard, okay? Or you get hit by the center and the guard this way, driving in all different directions. Hence, in that 30 defense, that three-man front, it's always a big guy to clog up the middle. Well, with our defense, you have one technique guys. And what you want for a one technique guy is a big, fat, immovable, 800-pound gorilla. Because that one technique, like a Warren Sapp, who had, I believe, 96 sacks as a defensive tackle, wreaks havoc. If you've got a guy who's good or great, what's going to happen is two people are going to have to focus in on him. If he's good and doesn't get moved out and blown out of the position, then the quarterback can't step up. And if you have an outside rush, the pocket closes in on him. But the Dallas Cowboys, no, we're not that high on the one technique. In fact, this is what drives me crazy, because what we basically have are defensive ends. Defensive ends are typically longer, leaner, faster guys, lighter weight, because they're rushing from the outside. We take David Irving, who is, if you look at David Irving, you say, that's a defensive end. He's long, he's lean, he's fast. But we're playing him as a one technique. He did okay with it, but he also got the snot knocked out of him and he missed 4 games. His doesn't have the body type to be a one technique. So now we're taking Collins and we're trying to make him the one technique. If you need a running back, draft a running back. If you need a one technique, draft a one technique. Stop trying to take guys that aren't suited for the position and make them into that position. We need a big ass crazy guy in the middle. And what does that do for you? It makes the whole defense better. That's why I was screaming about Vita Vea. You get a guy like that in the middle with the outside pass rush that we have, guess what? Our cornerbacks all just got better. Guess what? If 2 guys have to plug and take care of that 800-pound gorilla in the middle, that means they're not getting a free rush on your linebacker like Sean Lee. He's keeping him healthy. Because what people don't realize, when I talked about Calais Campbell the season before and everybody said you're crazy, he only gets 6, 7, 8 sacks a season. Yeah, because a defense isn't designed for the defensive lineman to get the sacks. The defense is designed to keep the linebackers clean so they make the plays. Their job, occupy space, occupy the linemen so they don't get a free rush on the linebackers. The linebackers are in there with their head on a swivel, their eyes looking at the quarterback, reading where the flow is going, and boom, taking care of business. That's why your defensive tackles have 20, 30, 40 tackles this season, 4 or 5 sacks. Where your linebackers like Sean Lee end up with 100, 120, 130 tackles, because that's the way the system's designed. Yet, the fatal flaw with our defense is we never go for a Warren Sapp at the one technique because we don't value it. In all these years, we've tried everything to fix the defense. We've drafted cornerback after cornerback. Signed Brandon Carr, who you thought was going to be a shutdown cornerback. Signed linebackers, Jalen Smith, Vander Esch, Sean Lee, Anthony Hitchens. We're constantly drafting those guys over and over again. We get defensive ends, Taco Charltons. We end up getting DeMarcus Lawrence's. We sign free agents like David Irving. We have all of the pieces there, but we have yet to once try to clog up the middle. And when you look at the Tampa Bay defense, do you honestly believe it would have been as good as it was without Warren Sapp? I don't think so. That's what drives me crazy on the Cowboys. We keep trying to fit a square peg in a round hole and try and make guys into something that they're not. Ryan Switzer put it perfectly. They asked me to do things that weren't my strengths. And now we're trying to do the same thing with Trayvon Austin. We're trying to make him into a Lance Dunbar. And I just don't understand how it is that we keep trying to take people who have all their lives played one position and turn them into something else. I think in the end, you're stunning their growth. They're not going to be better players from it. I don't know why I didn't bring myself something to drink to sit out here. But it's kind of nice with the sun going down, sound of the water, and of course, the dogs barking. I'm Mark Holmes. I'm going to relax out here for a few minutes more. And I'll see you guys later.